An update on stimulus checks and the stimulus package. Some unbelievable information I want to share with you in this video. Also, how you could possibly be getting some money if you used a certain app over the last few years. I have all the details and how to claim that money in this video, so let's get into this right away. But if you haven't done so yet, or if you happen to be new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video so I can keep you updated each and every day with all of this information that is changing very rapidly. I get it. The struggle is real and it is very hard to keep everything straight as far as what is going on right now. But don't worry, I'm doing all that research on your behalf and I bring it back in these short videos a few times each and every day so you can stay tuned with everything going on. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for your continued support. I truly do appreciate it. Subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video and let's get into this right away. All right, it is unbelievable with all of this information that is continuing to come out right now, especially with the stimulus package and everything else that is out there right now. Just when we thought that we've heard it all, well, then we get more information and it's like, oh, really? Seriously? That just happened also? Yeah, this is unbelievable. So, this is unreal with everything going on, but I want to share with you the latest updates and some new information that I just found for you once again as well. So, let's talk about stimulus checks and the stimulus package. According to a new survey that was just released yesterday, well, we've been hearing about a lot of surveys recently. We've been hearing about literally millions and millions of people that are struggling right now. And realistically, pretty much everybody in this community is pretty much somebody that's struggling right now, right? Probably why you continue watching these videos, because the struggle is real, like I said a minute ago. But anyway, I think all of us recognize that it is a tough time right now. And why Congress is still sitting on their hands and not really doing much confuses all of us. I think it confuses you just as much as it confuses me, right? Yeah, we're all wondering what's going on. So anyway, let me talk about this new survey that was just released. So here's what we're finding. Only 41% of people surveyed are actually in support of this new stimulus package that Congress is currently working on right now. According to the same survey, 61% of people think that the United States right now is moving in the wrong direction. So, as you can see here, we have this great divide, right? Only 61% of people think that this country is moving in the wrong direction. Meanwhile, the stimulus package only has support from 41% of people. Well, if you think that looks bad, let's get into talking about stimulus checks now. So here's another interesting statistic out of this same survey. This same survey was talking about the $1,400 stimulus check that was sent out earlier this year to millions upon millions of Americans. Well, over 6 in 10 Americans, so over 60% of Americans actually received this stimulus check. Well, of the people responding to this survey, according to the 60+% of people that actually responded, less than or about 15% of the people who received a stimulus check back in earlier this year, March or April earlier this year, the $1,400 stimulus check, about 15% of those people said that it only helped a little bit. The vast majority of the other respondents said that it did not help at all. In other words, it was too little, too late, once again, just like we've talked about so many times with previous stimulus checks, and just like what we've been talking about right now. By the time that Congress finally gets a stimulus check to us, if they decide to actually issue another fourth stimulus check or possibly even monthly recurring payments, we're going to find, once again, it's probably going to be too little, too late. However, Congress, if you're listening, please don't let that discourage you from sending additional payments. You can send them out right away and feel free to send them out on a monthly basis because that's pretty much what everybody needs during this time. So here's what's happening. We're finding with all these surveys and everything going on right now, the people who are doing really, really well, as in the higher income people, are skewing the numbers so much that it makes it look like this illusion that all Americans are doing so well right now. Well, according to these reports, this is not the case at all. In fact, what's happening is these very high-income people are actually offsetting the numbers so much that it makes it look like, as an average, right? Because we take all the numbers, we average them all out, and it makes like, whoa, as a whole, the American population is doing really great right now. Well, that's actually not what's happening. What's happening is that a small select group of people are doing very, very well right now. Meanwhile, the middle income and lower income people are just being absolutely crushed right now when it comes to this inflation. Now, I get it. We've been talking about inflation a lot here lately, but we have to face it. This is what's actually going on right now. This is something that is a huge influential factor when it comes to what is actually going on in the real lives of Americans right now. So we need to talk about it because this is a real thing. And according to economists, it's probably going to get worse here over the coming months, with even higher inflation expected over the next several months here going into the new year. So it's something we certainly need to talk about, even though I know a lot of us here in the community don't really enjoy talking about or hearing about inflation. I totally get it, but we also have to face what is actually going on. So that's what these reports are finally finding out right now, is that the vast majority of Americans are actually struggling, but yet just small pockets of very, very high income people are actually offsetting these numbers, making it look like the illusion of, whoa, Americans are doing great. No, false alarm. Sorry, that's not really the case. The vast majority of Americans, when we look at the numbers, the actual numbers of real people, are actually not doing that well. So interesting that even the $1,400 stimulus check that was sent out earlier this year, the vast majority of people responding, again, over 60% of people actually received the checks, and only about 15% of people responding actually said it helped out. Meanwhile, the rest of the people said, yeah, it didn't really help out a whole lot at all. It didn't really do much. So exactly what we've been calling on. Actually, what's interesting too is previous surveys that we've discovered and that we've gone through before in previous videos have shown that the stimulus checks typically, when they are received, they are spent almost immediately, like literally within days of receiving them. It's all gone from people trying just to catch up because maybe they've floated other previous debts on credit cards, or maybe they're just trying to catch up and buy the things that they've neglected to buy for several months, waiting for the stimulus check to actually hit accounts. So, is it just me, or does it seem like all the evidence is pointing toward monthly checks, monthly stimulus checks, additional stimulus checks, whether it's $2,000, whatever it happens to be, but it seems like all of these reports continue to point toward additional checks? I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking at this wrong, but to me, it looks like all the evidence is clearly pointing toward more checks, especially for low-income people. So here's what else is interesting. According to this same survey, here's what they're finding. Only 59% of eligible households that are supposed to be receiving the monthly child tax credit payments are actually receiving the payments. Only 59% of eligible households are actually receiving the payments. Okay, then where are the payments going? If they're not receiving them, are they just vanishing into thin air, or are they just not even going out the door? Well, according to this survey as well, they're saying this is not consistent with what some other reports are actually saying as far as all these households getting the payments. Again, where's the money going? Is it just vanishing? Because it's certainly not landing in my bank account. I'm not sure about yours, but it's certainly not in mine. I've looked, and trust me, it's not there. I look every day, and I cross my fingers hoping that something's there. And every day, I'm a little bit disappointed that it's still not there, right? So anyway, let me know if it's ending up in your bank account. I'd love to hear from you, but it's certainly not mine. But again, if you're eligible for it, it should be showing up in your bank account, and of course, provided that the IRS actually has your information. Now again, 20% of respondents said that this money from the child tax credit payment is actually helpful. Meanwhile, the other percentage of the people responding said, yeah, it's not really doing a whole lot. It's helping a little, but it's pretty much not doing a whole lot. So, once again, another very influential survey coming out showing how the American people are actually responding to the stimulus checks and these monthly child tax credit payments that are actually going out. As you can see, too little, too late, or basically what's happening is this inflation is just offsetting everything so much right now that it's not really having an impact, right? So the inflation is so impactful that any additional money that we're seeing is just going out so fast right now that it's not really impacting the quality of life for many people right now. So very, very interesting. All right, let's quickly talk about this one app that I talked about at the beginning of the video. If you have used this one app over the last few years here, you could be looking at some money. So let's talk about this. Zoom, the app Zoom. This has become a very popular app since about early 2020 when many people were, told to stay at home, don't visit people, don't peek your nose out of your house. You know the rules that we had back in the day, right? So, well, back in early 2020, the Zoom app, people Zooming with each other, the video call service. A lot of people were using this service to connect with friends, family, and a lot of people were working from home using this. Well, if you happen to use Zoom anytime between the time frame of March 30th, 2016 through July 30th of 2021, you may be looking at a cut of $85 million. Yes, $85 million is the settlement that was made with Zoom. So they're going to be taking up this money, chopping it all up, and sending it out to people who were using this app between that time frame that I just gave you. Again, March 30th, 2016 through July 30th of 2021. If you used Zoom during that time, I will leave a link down below where you can go and claim some of that money. $85 million will be chopped up. Now again, it totally depends on if you were a paid member or if you were using the free membership. But again, it looks like even free people who were using the free service, would still be eligible to receive a small cut of this money. Now again, it's not totally clear on how much you're actually going to be receiving. Again, it looks like it's probably going to be maybe kind of small, maybe $15, $20. But again, it's maybe worth it. I don't know. You'll have to assess your situation. If you used Zoom during that time and you feel like it's worth going through the hassle of filling out the forms, then, by all means, if you used it, you might want to grab it. So again, I'll put a link down in the description where you can actually follow that and go right to the form. Again, just to be totally clear, this is not a sponsored video. I found this information while doing my research and I thought, maybe some of you in this community have used Zoom to connect with maybe your friends or family, maybe your relatives, maybe neighbors, maybe anybody. I don't really know. But if you use Zoom, I don't know about you, but I certainly use Zoom. Corey and I, we use Zoom to connect with family and friends. I know Corey used it a few times to attend a couple bridal showers, baby showers. You know what I mean? So a lot of people were doing that as well. So if you happen to use that to maybe connect with maybe your kids or your grandkids or anybody, your friends, family, neighbors, anybody over the last few years here, you might want to try to claim some money on it. So again, I'll put that link down in the description for you, and you'll have to assess your situation if it's worth going through and filling it out for all that stuff. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I did not look at the form, okay? I haven't looked at it yet. I clicked on the link and I just went to it and thought, okay. And I did not go through it and to see how much information they want on there. But again, it's just totally up to you if you want to follow through. But anyway, this is the information that I found. So a lot of weird stuff going on right now. Congress, according to what I was seeing, may be working throughout the weekend, but again, we wouldn't be surprised one bit if they're, sitting on the beach right now. Honestly, I have no clue what they do on the weekends. If they leave, if they stay there, I don't really know. But according to Chuck Schumer just the other day, he was telling the Senate, be prepared to work long days, long nights, and possibly even weekends, alluding to this weekend that they could possibly be working. So maybe they're doing something right now, or maybe they're watching some football. Not really sure. I think anything could be up in the air right now, right? So anyway, let's just hope that we are crossing our fingers that they come to their senses here soon and that hopefully they will actually send out some additional relief and stimulus to the people, especially those people who are struggling so badly right now. And just like you saw it right there in the reports, right there in the surveys that we saw, you can clearly see that a lot of people are struggling right now. And it is totally clear. We've talked about this so many times here on the channel. Stimulus checks are so incredibly needed right now. I don't even know what other words to say to call it, but I mean, they're needed, right? I don't know how else to say it, but I mean, if we've made it very clear here, we've reached out to Congress numerous times, and I will continue doing that in any creative way that I can find. I've sent out the letters, I've made phone calls, I sent out the emails, the email letters just the other day. I sent those out as well. We've done everything we possibly can, but you know what? There's always more ways to get in contact with them, to try to reach out and help hopefully influence them to actually send out additional stimulus, at least focused on the lowest income people. Don't worry, I'm here for you every single day to help out in any way that I can. Please leave your comments and questions down below. I read as many as I possibly can, as well as respond to as many as possible. below. And if I need to make a dedicated video, of course, I'll do that as well. So again, enjoy your day. I hope this video helps you out. Subscribe down below. It's totally free to do so. Share this video with your friends, family, and social media. Again, there's another share button right down below next to the subscribe button. Hit both of those, and of course, go back and check out some of the other nearly 2,000 videos right here on the channel. Thanks again. I really do appreciate you. Enjoy your day. Stay safe, stay warm, and I'll catch you again later in the next video. Thanks again.